Good evening. Thank you, Dale. As we noted in the April edition of the Newsline, 2014 was a rebound year for the Lake Country Power Holding Company. There are numerous reasons for the positive results, but before I get into them, let me provide you with some background on the holding company and its governance structure. As many of you know, Lake Country Power is a not-for-profit electric cooperative, and we own for-profit subsidiaries. Those businesses are Lake States Tree Service and Lake States Construction. Both companies are managed and governed independently from LCP. The difference in governance starts with the boards for each subsidiary. Those boards are made up of co-op members like you, who provide oversight and guidance to the subsidiary management. Ultimately, each sub-board is accountable to the holding company board, which is made up of LCP directors, Lake Country Power directors. We don a different hat, and when it comes to the subsidiary and its direction and decisions. Our holding company strategy is to drive value within each of the businesses, and the subs, especially Tree Service, have experienced significant workforce turnover the past few years. So that is our primary focus as we guide the direction of growth and value for Lake Country Power's for-profit businesses. It is our intent to address the issue of retaining qualified employees to enhance the value of these businesses. As we move forward, it will be the focal point of our strategy to increase the value of the subsidiaries on behalf of you, the members of Lake Country Power. We know we need qualified long-term employees to maintain consistent service and performance for our utility customers and do more than just keep up. Our contract work, including contract work for Lake Country Power. Employee turnover has been very, very challenging to keep up with the contracts and commitments that we are obligated and sign on to. Despite the fact that we enjoyed a very successful year in 2014, when the subsidiaries earned a tax net nearly $525,000 in 2014 on revenues of more than $16 million. Operationally, Lake States Tree Service played a big role in Lake Country Power's aggressive right-of-way program in 2014. The Tree Service is working hard to incorporate field process improvements to give Lake Country Power and other utilities like Great River Energy more efficient and effective service throughout the year. The Tree Service has also opened up a branch in Braham, Minnesota to cover the company to be closer to additional markets in the southern half of the state. Lake Country Power members also benefited from work by Lake States Construction. As a utility construction company, Lake States Construction builds power lines for Lake Country Power and other utilities. Lake States Construction also has expanded its service as a qualified contractor for the broadband installations that are going on in rural America. That move resulted in additional work in northeastern Minnesota this past year. Local governments and rural utilities are working with the federal government to bring broadband to rural areas, and companies like Lake States Construction are positioned very well to build off that infrastructure. Our subsidiaries also save the co-op money by borrowing. The Tree Service subsidiary, Lake Country Power, has saved more than $3 million through the state sales tax exemption over the years. Like any business, our subs experience the ups and downs of business cycles, the economy, workforce, availability, competitive market conditions, and the subs are not immune to market changes and to continue to work at a growing revenue outside the cooperative. Finally, I want to say thank you to the subsidiary boards, which are comprised of co-op members such as yourself. Members who serve and provide oversight to our two subsidiaries. These subs were purchased nearly 15 years ago with revenues earned on the sale of a satellite TV business. They were purchased with the objective to add value to the co-op and its members. As a holding company, board members, our objective is to ensure the subs continue to add value as we move forward in the future. This means growing the businesses by investing in employees to improve service and results, enhancing the value for our membership. It will be the focal point of our strategy to increase the value of the subsidiaries on behalf of you, the member. And going forward, we will be reporting that value on a quarterly basis rather than a monthly basis in the co-op's newsletter. You will see our first quarterly reports for 2015 next month. In the co-op newsletter, at this point, the news isn't nearly as good to start this season this year. The subs suffered through a very difficult first quarter. As chairman of the holding company and on behalf of the holding company, I say this: the first quarter of 2015 was very disappointing, especially after such a strong year end in 2014. We are closely monitoring the situation for better results as the year unfolds, but there will be much ground that will need to be made up, and it points to the challenging nature and ups and downs of our operating for-profit businesses. Our expectations are clear, though. We expect value from the subsidiaries, and one way to measure value is financial performance and employee retention. As I close, I want to say thank you to all of the members that I've talked with and helped answer some questions you may have had about the subs, what the subs have been showing that you care, that you are engaged, and that you, like us as a holding company board, care about the outcome of these for-profit businesses. Mr. Chairman and members, I thank you for taking the time to come tonight and listen to this report.